Good morning. How are you? We have arrived. It's in the 60s. It's going to be 75, although somebody told me it might be winds of 45 miles an hour. So that picture really destroys the notion of sitting in a lounge chair and maybe getting a couple of rays for my pale skin, which I must do carefully with gobs of stuff because I have Irish skin. I may be a quarter English and a quarter German, but I'm half Irish, so there it is. So it's beautiful. The buds are coming out at my place and in the surrounding farms and houses. We see green things and buds popping out. Only takes a couple of days. It's quite amazing. In the category of wasn't that fun, and I commented on Biden yesterday, but one of the lines I really like was they asked him a question about, well, are you going to run again? He said he thought he would, but you haven't filed. And Trump filed on the day he was inaugurated. And he said, and his answer was he needed to. We all remember the notion that some of the Trumpeteers had, that they could lie in public because they weren't under oath, like that would make a difference for them. But the latest and greatest is Sidney Powell, who's being sued by Dominion Voting for in excess of $1 billion, and for lying about Dominion Voting interfering in the election and switching the votes to favor Biden over Trump. And that's a splendid idea. And her defense by her lawyers in filings, I think today, maybe late yesterday, are that, of course I lied. But any reasonable person would know I lied. Now, there's a tricky defense for you. It's almost as bad as everything else that the Trumpeteers do, telling the big lie. If you can enter into politics and tell courts and the public and political officers that a private company is fixing an election and get away with it, then our slander and libel laws mean nothing. Our penalties for interfering and affecting an election mean nothing. Our notions of conspiracy to interfere and interrupt and overturn an election mean nothing. But she's going to get her deserves. It won't be a day, it won't be a month, and it could be a year or more. But when that day comes, I think we all pop a cork, because she's going to be just one of a phalanx of these people who've lied and distorted and treated America and thought they'd get away with it. And they presumed that they would tell the big lie to win, because then they could cover it up with pardons and everything else. Well, something happened on the way to the White House for a second term. Didn't quite work out. Another liar up on the Hill is, of course, McConnell. And this is nothing new, but his argument against changing the filibuster is, what do you mean? That's got nothing to do with anything, and it was never used in connection with racial discrimination. Well, he's wrong about that. Jim Crow was supported in part by Dixiecrats who thought it was just fine to use the filibuster to stop reforms that would protect people based on color, religion, etc. So the overall impression I have is that if you look at the newspapers or you read online or you watch the shows, there's a regularity that's coming back into our society in which the debate is more regular. And I think that Biden is improvising intelligently to the shifting waters of events. And I mean that. It may sound poetic, but I think it's true. And I think it's something that you can't do if you don't have the mileage that Biden has in government. So those of you who pray for a long and vigorous life for Biden, because he's the answer to the onslaught of democracy that the autocrats have made in the years before Joe was elected. And by the way, Sleeping Joe ain't sleeping a lot. So get out in this beautiful weather and try to sit in the lounge chair before the winds come. All the best. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.